We're on time. We're right on time. All right. So, everybody got registered? Everybody came in to register? Yeah, we're good. All right. So why don't we just go around real quick and introduce ourselves, like I mentioned before. Just like 30 seconds, or not even. Just answer. What brings you down here? What are you looking to get out of this event? And why real estate investing is something that what brings you down here? Share a little bit about yourself, your background, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, and what are you looking to get out of this event? Good? We'll start this way.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Daryl. I have a 3D printing business, a home-based business. I came to the event so that way I could pretty much learn mostly what real estate investing is all about. That's really just about it. See if I really want to get into it in the future.
Makes sense.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Queens, New York. New Jersey, I like to find out the difference between New Jersey and Queens. The cost of construction, the neighborhood, everything. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sherman. I'm a carpenter. I'm into construction, so stuff like this interests me. I really want to get into investment properties, so I just came in to see what it's about.
I'm Linda. I brought Sherman. So I'm interested in, I want the knowledge as far as how to get the property. I'm really more into wholesaling, but I want to know every aspect of from fixing and flipping and real estate in itself. And I'm from Long Island.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sam Monet. I'm from Westchester. I got interested in real estate back in May, and I'm looking to wholesale, rehab, buy and hold. Right now I'm just getting into it, so I'm here at this event because I just want to learn more about what to look for in properties when you're doing tours, and kind of just like how to be quick on your feet, like calculating repairs and everything.
What she said. I live in Queens, New York. I also started learning about real estate this year. I've been doing little bits here and there. I started doing cold calling, driving for dollars, but I feel like this is where it's good to, be in this environment so that you can learn more about actual repairs and how to handle those calls and things like that. So it's more for learning.
My name is Jane. I'm from South Brooklyn, and I've been interested in real estate for about maybe 2 years now. I'm here specifically to learn more about the construction side here. So do you have a permanent crew? How many crews do you have? How do you calculate the construction budget for specifically Jersey, New Jersey, this area? So how much does it cost? That's what I'm really interested in.
Hi everyone, my name is Jazz. I'm from Central Jersey, and I've been interested in real estate for like 5 minutes. So I'm here to learn about it. That's why I'm here pretty much.
Welcome.
My name is Carolyn. I'm a registered nurse. These are my kids, and I just want to learn more about real estate investing.
My name is Sean, and my mom, brought me here. Brought me up last minute. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Kimberly. I'm from West Orange, New Jersey. I have a social media agency. And I'm just looking to find different ways to diversify my income, and real estate was something that I was interested in. So I'm here to learn more about investing.
I'm Mike. From New Jersey. I sell investment real estate as a real estate agent. Obviously the goal is to one day own investment real estate. Primarily been focused on rentals, but wanted to see if fix and flip is a different type of investment. That would be good. So, yeah.
Anyone else? So we'll start from here.
All right. Hello everyone. My name is Ram. This is actually first real estate events we're attending, so we just wanted to see, the ins and outs of real estate investing, see if it works for us. Thank you.
Pick the good one.
Hello, my name is George. I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. I'm pretty much here to gain the knowledge and also pretty much buy and hold real estate, and then also create generational wealth through my family and my children when I have children.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm from Bronx, New York. I came here with Simone, and she invited me today to see the real estate business and how to work around it.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Huey Bennett from Brooklyn, New York. Did 6 years in the Army, part-time school teacher and everything, and I'm here today to learn more about real estate investment and just expand my knowledge and source of income.
Okay.
Richard? Yeah, my name is Richard Sikowski. I'm from South Jersey, Tom's River. I recently joined the local real estate team. It's in New York, New Jersey, Manhattan. I'm here to learn more about the process of fix and flip because I'm interested in fix and flips and rental property.
So guys, well, I'm glad to meet you guys. That's fantastic. Great stories. All right, so today, like I mentioned to you guys, we're going to cover these 3 things, right? Number 1 is how to find properties that are going to be for a discount, all right? Because that's the biggest, these 3 things are really what changed everything for me when I got started investing in real estate. So my name is Jose Fernandez. For those of you guys that don't know who I am, I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing for about 5 years now, right here in the Jersey area, and 4 of those 5 years have been full time. Okay, when I got started investing in real estate out of luck. Anybody here grow up thinking that they're going to invest in real estate when they grow up? One guy. See, there's always somebody, but most people that get into real estate investing, there is not about because I wanted to be an investor when I was growing up, right? It's either something happened in life, so you're at a point in your life where you want to either time freedom, you want more money, you want to have a legacy for your kids, you want to leave behind something, right? You want to start passive income, whatever it is. Everybody here has a different goal in mind, and they see real estate investing as that means to attain that goal, right? And what most people get involved in real estate investing is because they want money, okay? But then you start asking the questions, and that's not really about money. It's about what you're going to be able to do with the money, okay? So when I was growing up, I used to always tell my mom, I was brought up by a single mom, and I used to always tell my mom I want to be a millionaire, right? I'm never going to work a day of my life, and I'm going to retire young. Okay, anybody said something like that before? Right? Of course. Right? Yeah. So that was my mindset when I was growing up. So I always wanted to be in business, but I never knew what business it was going to be. Okay, so I went to school I went to school for engineering. I graduated as an electrical engineer. I went to work for an aerospace company for 5 years. During that time, I graduated in 2008. Now, was that a good time to graduate college? No, right? So when I came out of college, I came out with a lot of college debt, but with a low income, low salary. Okay, and then 2008, that was right around the time where the first iPhone came out. You guys remember that? Yeah. Some of you guys, right? That was around the time the first iPhone came out. And as an engineer during the time, I started fixing cell phones before the iPhone. So I was already fixing cell phones and computers before smartphones become very popular. Okay, so now you guys see those smartphones out there, the cell phone repair companies all over the place, right? So I started doing that way before any of those companies were out there, and we did very well with that business. Okay, we did very well with that business. As a matter of fact, I was doing that part-time. I was working full-time from 7 to 3 at my full-time job, and from 4 to 8 p.m. fixing cell phones on the weekends as well. So I was working 70, 80 hours a week in my mid-20s. Okay, was that a lot of hours?
Yes.
Yes, right? How many people like working that much? No. No, right? No. So for me, my goal was, okay, I want to start a business and I want to become financially independent, but I still can't quit my job, so I still have to do my business part-time. Eventually, my business is going to pay me so that way I don't have to work no more, okay? Logical story, right? But then we get caught up in the whole business, and I quickly realized I had no idea how to run a business. Anybody here self-employed or running a business online? Anybody felt like that in the beginning? Yeah. Absolutely, right? Because when I went to college as an engineer, they taught me all the technical stuff, how to be a good engineer and everything like that, but they never taught me anything about business. Okay, so when I started my business, I didn't know anything about finances. I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know anything about payroll, websites, marketing, all those things that you need necessary to run a business, a basic business. I had no idea. Okay, LLC structuring, taxes for business taxing, all that stuff, nothing. Okay, so then I came across an event similar to this, okay, with Renatus, and that's when I learned the business strategies and techniques to become financially independent, and the strategies that business owners and wealthy people use in their lives. Okay, so now let me ask you guys a question. Okay, what do you guys think the difference between rich and wealthy people is and versus the poor middle class?
Mindset.
Mindset. What else?
Making money work for them instead of working for money, like, you know.
Making money work for them instead of working for money. Okay, let me just read this. Okay, what else? Just shout them out.
Time management.
Time management.
Taxes.
Taxes, right? So I always go back to this, right? You guys know this, right?
Yeah.
This is the cash flow quadrant, right? Robert Kiyosaki made this famous, right? So, but it always comes down to this, okay? In terms of evaluating your business and the thing that you need to look at, right? You got poor middle class, and you got rich and wealthy, right? True? Right? So what's the difference? What's the difference? Number one is over here on this side of the quadrant, people are trading time for money. And over here, people are trading our leverage. Leverage money and people. Leverage money and people to make more money. Okay, so growing up for me, I was never taught anything about all this stuff. Okay, all I was taught was to go get a school, right? Go to school, get a good degree, and then get a degree so I can go get a job. And then from there, there was not much of a plan after that. It was just save money, buy the house, and start buying all the liabilities and expenses, right? So we all know about this stuff. Then I wanted to be a little bit more ambitious, and I said, well, you know what? Over here, I'm stuck in the 40-40-40 plan. You guys know what the 40-40-40 plan is?
40 hours.
You just work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life and retire on 40% of your income. Okay? So this is not what I wanted to do, right? And I always remembered that, you know, what I used to tell my mom, I say it jokingly, but I always wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't want, then the reason why I said a millionaire was because in my mind, I thought I needed $1 million saved up in the bank so I didn't have to work anymore, right? And I'll be good. I'll save up $1 million and I'll be good, okay? That was my mindset. Then I realized, right, when I went to this event, was that, you know what? Well, before that, I was like, you know what? I always seen business owners, people that run their own business, have their own time. They had the money, they had the freedom and all those kinds of things. So you know what? I started myself in a computer repair business. But here, it was a little bit better than here, but I was still stuck, right? Because if I didn't go to work from 4 to 8 p.m. on nighttime and on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, right? I wasn't making any money. I wasn't paying the office expenses. I wasn't paying the cost for operating my business. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. So I had to show up to make money. Okay, now I decided when to show up, so I had a little bit more time freedom here, but I still wasn't able to quit, right? I still wasn't able to just sit at home, watch TV, chill, and still be making money, okay? I was still trapped by leveraging my time for money, okay? Then I learned about business, right, and investing, okay? You guys know what the real difference is, right? The real difference is over here, you're leveraging other people's knowledge, right? Other people's time and knowledge. Okay? Over here, you're leveraging other people's time and knowledge, and over here, you're leveraging your knowledge and money. Right? How do you go from here to here? What do you guys think? What do you think? So for me, what it was for me, it was knowledge, right? Knowledge, systems, and people, right? Systems and people. Okay, systems and people. So I started surrounding myself with the right people. It was, you know, the 5 people you surround yourself is going to determine your net worth, right? You guys know this, right? So if you surround yourself with 5 broke people, what's going to happen?
You'd be broke.
You'd be broke, right? So if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, okay, are you going to learn a thing or two from them to be able to become a millionaire? Of course. Right? Okay, so that's, of course, right? So if you surround yourself in the right environment, put yourself in the right environment, right, you are going to have to pull yourself up to that environment in order to stay in that environment, okay? That's one thing that is like a law that I figured out, right? Because, you know, successful people want to hang out with other who? Successful people, right? They don't want to hang out with people that are bringing them down and naysayers. Anybody like hanging out with naysayers? Or people that shoot down your thoughts and ideas? Nobody does, right? Nobody does. But how many? What do you think? If you had to put a percentage on the amount of people that are out there that are like that, how much would you say the percentage is?
55 to 80.
A lot of people. A lot of people, right? A lot of people have been conditioned with that mindset, right? So then, business ownership and real estate investing, right? So guys, and I'm gonna break this down in terms of real estate investing. And some of you guys want to learn about wholesaling, right? Some of you guys want to learn about fix and flipping, right? You can flip and buy and hold, buy and hold. And this is here is lending. So if you want to, as an investor in this ecosystem for real estate investing, wholesaling will be the equivalent in terms of being self-employed, right? Why? Because you're always going to be chasing that next property to make money. Now, the thing about wholesaling, I could also put it over here, is up here, it depends on how you do it, right? Because if this is just you, one person, if it's you, just one person, you're always going to be the person responsible for getting that property, getting the buyer, and making the money. Okay? So if everything revolves around you, you're going to be stuck here. Now, once you become a little bit more professional and you start putting systems in place, right? Now you can have a team of people helping you find those properties, and now what you're doing is you're managing the operation. Okay? Now this right here is going to cost you money and time, and you need to learn how to be able to put that together. Now, this is all possible and doable, right? But it's up to you to go out there and make that happen. Okay, so fixing and flipping, I put it up here because as a fix and flipper, I can find we find properties from wholesalers. We normally find our properties ourselves, so we're still kind of here, but our money is working over here, right? So we can right now currently we find our properties ourselves. We do all the finding deals for motivated sellers part. Okay. Now once you go from here to there, fix and flipping, wholesaling, it could be in this market you can anywhere between 5 and 20K, or sometimes more. Okay, you're gonna be making that kind of money. As a fix and flipper, you're gonna be making anywhere between 20 to 50K, 50K plus, right? We've had transactions in the high 5 figures and the low 6 figures, right? And then money lending, here, that's when you're gonna have your money working for you. So you have $1 million, right? At 10% return, how much is that a year? That's 120 grand, okay? That's $120,000 a year. Are you getting that anywhere else in out there? Bank, savings, anything like that? No, real estate investor, right? So, for you guys that are interested in this business, you need to really figure out, number one, where you are financially, right? Where you are financially, where you are with your time, and where you are with your knowledge, okay? That's the main thing that you need to figure out, where you are, so that way you can determine where you're going to be in this business, right? So if you have $1 million and you want to be able to lend that to people to make that money work for you without you having to show up, right? Now you're making $120,000 a year, right? Without having to do the fix and flips, without having to find the properties, without having to make sure that the contracts are doing this and the third. Okay, so this is the people that are in this quadrant is what we call the hard money lenders, right? Private money lenders. Okay, banks, right? They're in this quadrant right here. They're in the quadrant of making money work for them. So you as an investor that are here that want to fix and flip and buy and hold, you need to build relationships with people that are here. Okay? People that are here, and you need to determine what their criteria is for lending you the money. Okay, once you have that criteria, then you go over here, right, to find those properties, so that way they can be a good deal. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? So now this real estate business revolves around this right here, right? Properties. Houses at a discount. Okay? Houses at a discount. If you can't find properties at a discount, you're not going to make money. It doesn't matter how many people you talk to, no matter how hard you try to convince people, no matter what it is. If you can't find people that are motivated to sell and they are going to sell it for a discount, you're not going to make money. Is that clear? Okay. And now, there's a caveat to this, right? If you have, and I don't want to, make this whole big thing confusing, but there are people that have money that will invest in like a Manhattan or an upcoming market that will park they'll park their money there for a couple years, and then all of a sudden that property is worth 2, 3, 4 times the value. You guys know about that, right? People like that, right? But during the time, you're not making money, right? During the time, you're losing money because you're still paying the bill, you're still doing all that stuff, but they're really just investing in equity. Okay, they're really just investing for equity, and then that's where you hear all the celebrities, right? They have millions of dollars, they buy a house, and all of a sudden they made 10, 20 million on that property. I mean, Jay-Z done it all over Brooklyn, right? People do it all over the place, but there's a caveat, right? For the most of us that don't have that luxury, we need to make sure that the properties are making money right away, okay? Now, in here we divide this into long-term investments. Let me just, okay, you guys got this good? All right, so once you start finding properties, right, you need to determine, are you going to be into it for a long-term investment or a short-term investment? Right, long-term, long-term and short-term. Okay, now these long-term investments, this was going to give you passive income. And these are rentals. Short-term are going to be fix and flip, wholesale, right? These are your fix and flip deals and your wholesale deals, all right? Now, this is where you're going to be making those 20 to 50K. And this here is where you're going to be making anywhere between 500 minimum and $300 to $500 a month per door. Per door. Okay? Now, is that an okay passive income stream? Per property? Now, depends, right? Now, what if you had zero money into the deal and you're still making $300 to $500 a month? That's even better, right? So, the better you become at this finding discounted properties, the better you are going to have the terms for passive income and rentals. All right, the better you're going to be at passive income and rentals. Okay, so the short-term strategy with fixing and flipping properties and wholesaling, you're going to need to be anywhere. You need to have, once the house is all fixed up, this is what our formula is. Okay, we don't really go by that harmony. I mean, that whole formula that is out there. You guys all know the formula, right? 75% of the ARV minus repairs.
Right.
Equals offer. You guys know that formula, right? So the reason why that formula exists, because if you're borrowing money from a hard money lender or something, or a private money lender, they're going to need to see at least that you have about 25% equity. Okay? Because once you fix the house, and the house is going to be worth $300,000 to $400,000, whatever the money is, you're going to need to about 25% in equity. You guys want to know why? I'll break it down for you. Okay, so 75%, you're going to have 25% equity. Now, on 100, let's just make the number simple, right? If you have a $100,000 property, right, and you're into it for $75,000, now you have 25K in profit. True? Right? You have 25K profit. Potential profit. Okay, so what people don't really talk about in these numbers is that you're going to also, number one, what are you paying during the time that you own the house? You're paying taxes and insurance. You're paying taxes and insurance. Okay? Anything else?
Utilities.
Utilities.
Interest.
If you're borrowing money, you're paying interest, right? What else?
Maintenance.
Maintenance. Okay, what else?
Legal fees.
Legal fees. What else? Who said?
Closing costs.
Closing costs. What else?
Realtor if you need one.
Realtor if you need one. Is there anything else?
Or the actual repairs.
So the repairs, we already took it into here. So we already got them in there, the 75 grand. Right, the repairs. Right. So these are all things that you need to consider on top of this formula. Right? So it's either coming out of the 25% or is coming out of the 75% in the beginning. Does that make sense? Right? Because if you are only working with 25% profit, then you're going to be having to pay all these out of pocket. Right. Now, this is anywhere between 6 and 10%. So your profit is anywhere between, 15 to 20% at the end of the day, right? Some projects, depending where you are, right, is going to be, you're going to be anywhere closer to 10 to 15%. Uh-oh, somebody's home.
Sorry.
Oh, that's your phone.
No, somebody's at my house.
Oh, that's what it is. Got that Ring app.
Yes.
Right? Does that make sense? So now, if you're at 15% here, what's your profit? $15,000, right? 15% out of 100 grand, that's 15 grand. Now, this is a $100,000 property. Is that an okay deal for you? What?
It's better than nothing, I guess.
It's better than nothing.
It beats zero.
It beats zero, right? Now, but you got to think about it this way. See, for me, it's really, really difficult for me to get on board with something like that.
That's too much.
It's too much risk for 15 grand, right?
Before you pay taxes on it.
And that's before taxes, right? Taxes, that's another one, right? And then plus taxes. Then you pay taxes on that. Okay? Is that okay? Now, is that an okay transaction?
No.
Right? This is the market that we at right now. Right? This is where we are right now, where properties are getting harder and harder to find, and profits are getting lower and lower. Okay? So the uneducated investor puts this formula into place. They don't consider all of this stuff, and then when they're in the middle of it, they're only making 10, 15 grand, and they spent a lot of time in this transaction. Okay? And that is assuming that you have no issues on the repairs. That is assuming that you have no issues on the repairs, that your numbers were accurate, and that it actually took you the time that you thought it was going to take, right? So right now, let's just say this transaction was 6 months. What if it took you 9 months? Right? 10 months, 12 months, whatever it is. Now that profit just keeps going down and down and down. Right? So your numbers are critical when it comes down to this business. Okay? This is what is critical. But once you start making money in these transactions, right? Now, one trick for the taxes, right? For a transaction like this, let me ask you guys a question. If you were making 15 grand and you weren't using any of your own money, would that be a better return on investment? Yes. Right? Because this business is all about ROI. Yes. This business is all about ROI. We didn't really touch on that. Right? Now, if you're putting 100 grand and you're making 15,000 before taxes, that depends, right? Depends where you are in your business and in your cycle, right? It depends. If you got to get started, you got to get started, right? But to me, that's a very, very, very short, very, very high risk for low reward. Okay? Because if you're putting in 100 grand, right? 100 grand, and you're only making 15, that's a 15% return, right? Now, if you're putting zero money, right, and you put, and you're making 15, now that's infinite. So that's actually the other way around. The formula. Right? Then you got an infinite return. Is that a better situation for you? Right? The better situation for you. Now the only question comes in is how many properties like these do you need so that way you can make money. So that way you can be comfortable and you don't have to work for somebody else anymore. Right? These are properties, this is just an example for 100,000. I mean, are there properties like this in this area? Yeah, they are. But most of the properties, the average market value for our location here in New Jersey, we're somewhere around 350,000. Right, that's like the sweet spot for the properties that we like to be in. Right, anything above that, you're kind of like in a some closer to 500 and above, you're in a high-end market. You know, sort of. Questions about that? No? Now, one thing, the finance, so let me get this here. So I'm gonna give you guys one quick tip, right? Now that, number one, we talked about using it with your money, then we did about using your own, using somebody else's money, okay? Now what if this house, right? Now what if this house was actually purchased by a Roth IRA that owns this house? Okay, do you guys know about Roth IRAs? Yeah, right. And a Roth IRA means that you already have taxable income already set aside in a retirement account, which is called a Roth. Okay, the maximum amount I think is about $5,500 a year that you can put into a Roth IRA. Okay. Now, what if the Roth IRA owned this property? Okay, and you're making 15K, right? 15% return on this deal, and it's going back into the Roth IRA, tax-free. Is that an okay transaction?
Yeah.
Right? Did that just swing it up? Okay, now, how many of these now do you need to come up to your $1 million, right? Or whatever that number is that you need to retire, right? So this little trick right here of structuring this Roth IRA to buy this deal, to be able to get that money and put it back into your retirement account so it can continue to grow over and over again, tax-free, is worth millions. Millions of dollars, right? Because people, they'll go out there, invest in real estate, and not put this in place, and find themselves paying a lot of money in taxes. Okay? Now, another thing, anybody here have kids? Right? Kids, cousins, nieces, nephews, grandkids? Right? Now, your S Corp or LLC can have retirement accounts. You guys know this, right? Now, what if your kids, right, were part of your S Corp and they were employees of your business? Okay, you guys can have up to $12,000 per child as deductions for your business. Right? How do we normally pay? I have 3 kids, right? That's $26,000 in tax deductions. I didn't have them for the deductions. Before you that's not why we had the kids, right? But it doesn't hurt, right? Doesn't hurt, because normally what people do is they go to work, they get paid, and then they use the money to buy what? Everything. Everything that they need. They pay the kids this, they pay the kids that, and they pay all that stuff for the kids. Now, when you have your business structured the right way, you're going to be able to put and 12K a year into a bank account for your kids. Now this is tax-free. Because does your child pay taxes on $12,000? No, they're not paying taxes, right? They're an employee for your business. They're not paying taxes on $12,000. Okay? Now, when they need to buy something for school, when you need to take them out, when you need to have dinner, who's paying for that bill?
They are.
Their debit card.
Yes.
Their debit card, right? This is how rich people and wealthy people stay rich and wealthy. Is there a different law or different strategies available for rich people than anybody else?
I think so.
Yeah, of
Some
course.
people-
It's always.
They're not the same. They're not different.
Okay.
They're not different, right?
It's just not taught.
They're just not taught and they're not
Right.
utilized. They're not used, right? It's up to you as the individual to seek and search this information and apply it into your life. Okay? And I wasn't born with this. I wasn't taught with all this stuff. Right? I learned it and I went and I'm starting to apply it and put it into my life. Okay? This is how you'll be able to grow, right, your short-term income, your short-term strategy for investing and build it into something magical. You want to have legacy, you want to have tax-free returns, you want to have all those things. You need to learn how to do it the right way. Okay? Because then after that, you can start buying your rentals. Right? Because now once you have a couple of these and you have made enough money to be able to go get a down payment for a loan, right? Or maybe you can go and buy properties cash and have enough money in your IRA cash. Now you buy these rentals that are owned by your IRA and now those are feeding their IRAs as well. So this becomes like a whole cycle of wealth. That's what we call the wealth cycle. Okay? But it all starts with you learning how to find the properties and making sure and doing all these things in place. Okay? So for kids, right? I talk about a lot of things for kids, and because I have very little kids, so I'm all about that.
How
right?
old are your kids?
They're 5, 3, and 1.
And are you able to pay 20K to the 5-year-old one?
So right
There are
now
some
we're not
restrictions
to the
for
5-year-old. Yes, to the 5-year-old is 12K. Right, 5-year-old is 12K. But right, your family, what we're doing this year in 2020. We're using our family pictures as marketing collateral, right? We're using our family picture as marketing collateral. So that way, when people visit our websites, they get our business card, they get our postcards, they come back to see something about our company. My kids, my family's there, and they are a part of my business that's helping us grow, right? Because kids do make money, right? Babies make money. You know how they make money? They're models. Right? The little baby from the diapers commercials.
Yeah.
All those babies on TV. Right? Like, do they make money?
Yes.
Yes. So people are not tapping into those loopholes, right? Which are not even loopholes, they're just strategies that people don't know about. And that's why you can tap into that, right? So any questions on this so far? Right? No? All right, so I don't want to take too much more of this time, but one thing that you can do, the reason why this is so powerful, right? And I urge people to get into this business is because rental properties is what's going to pay for everything in your life, right? A rental property is going to pay for your kids' tuition. It's going to pay for your vacation home. It's going to pay for your monthly expenses. It's going to pay for everything that you want in life, right? Anything that you're using your own cash for, right? You need to have some sort of asset that's paying for that instead of your own money. Okay, and the quicker you're able to switch from that model to a model like this, right? The quicker you're going to start becoming financially independent. Now this is about real estate. There's many different ways to make this model work, right? But this is a real estate investing class, right? This is how we do it with real estate investing.
So
Okay?
can you get the 12K with the LLC too for your kids?
You need to, so before I give out any more of that stuff, I'm not a tax and legal professional. Consult with your CPA and attorney. This is not any legal advice, right? You need to do your own due diligence on the stuff that I'm talking about. Make sure we get that on record. Way in the beginning of the video here, James. Right?
We'll cut it in.
So you need to speak to those professionals. But every LLC is taxed differently. It depends on a lot of different factors. Who's involved in the LLC and all that kind of stuff. I would use an S corp personally myself, right? Then not only would I pay the kids, but I also have salary dividend splits, and then on top of that you have salaries, right? So it's a whole different ball game. So you guys need to learn about that stuff. Okay. So now this is like on $100,000. That's how you break it down a year, right? Most people pay 30 to 40% of this, right? You need to bring it down to 10% in taxes. Okay. Now you're adding an extra $15,000-$20,000 a year to your life just by having a different structure. Is that an okay way to make more money? Just by structuring yourself different. I'm not even talking about anything about real estate. Okay, no. So now now that we got all that kind of stuff handled, how do we make money? How do we find houses? How do we find motivated sellers? People that need to sell their house quickly.
You can go to the municipal building and I guess get the listing.
Public records?
Public records. Drive by.
Public records. You said foreclosure?
People have tax liens on there.
Tax liens?
Drive for dollars so you can find homes like in distress.
Probate courts.
Alright, so we just leave probate here, right?
Okay.
Anything else?
Estate, I think.
What's that?
Estates.
Estates, probates.
Okay.
Divorce. What else?
Craigslist.
Yeah.
What else?
Sell by owner.
For sale by owner. What else?
Relocation.
What's that?
Relocation, another job.
Relocation. What else? Where's my social media expert?
Facebook ads.
Facebook, yeah.
Online, right?
Facebook, yeah. Online.
Online advertising. Right? Is there any other ways? Agents. Right, referrals.
Real estate owned by the bank or financial institution.
REOs.
Short
start.
How about by agents?
Agents, we got that
might
here.
have some money there.
Agents, we got that here. Anything else? This is about you guys. Brainstorm. Think about it. Bankruptcy. Yes.
Sheriff auctions.
Auction.com.
Yes, auctions. Right? Are there any more ways? Probate, estate sales. Anything else? Inherited properties, probate, right here. Probate, right? So this is the part. So guys, business, if you're in business, right? If you own a business, how many people own a business, right? Some of you guys? Now, are there stuff in your business that it just sucks to do?
Very time consuming.
Very time consuming, right? It's like not everything about business is all peaches and cream, right? You're not just making money, right? There's a lot of things you need to do in your business that are going to get you to the money. Okay, so this right here is what I wish somebody told me from the beginning that I needed to know how to do, right? And this is where in every business process you are going to need leads, right? You're going to need leads for your business. How you get the leads, that's up to you, right? How you get the leads is up to you and how you feel comfortable and what you feel like doing and putting up with for a long time. That makes sense. Do you guys get that? Right? How do you put that up for a long time until you're able to hire somebody to do that for you? Okay? So this is the whole process of being able to find motivated sellers. Okay? You have to find people that are going through a situation that they need to sell their property. It's plain and simple. If you're going to go out there speaking to other people that, just going to open houses, speaking to realtors and all those kind of things, people want most money for their property. Okay, we're going to need to consider, we need to, I think the number is between 80 and 90% of people want the most money for their house. Right? So this here is about, let's say, 10 to 15% of the people that are facing some sort of situation where they need to sell their property quickly. Okay? Now, what most people do is they concentrate on speaking to these people and give up on this business. Because they start speaking to people that are not motivated to sell, that are not very pleasant, right, when you make an offer to them, and they're just wasting your time, right? So if before you start going out there and looking at properties and spending an hour driving there, an hour coming back home, an hour or two doing comms, estimating repairs, only to make an offer and the homeowner tell you, no, that's way too low, right? That's half your day. That's maybe your whole day, right? How many days like that can you afford to spend, right, before you go broke or need not have a business? How many days like that?
One.
Right? That's why people give up on this business. Right here, because they spend. I mean, anybody going through that right now? This should, you guys can be honest. There's no judgment here. You know why? Because I went through this. I went through this from the beginning, right? I used to get calls from wholesalers, and I'll be all excited. I'll go look at the property, do all the due diligence, and I make an offer. The property was either gone, or it was way overpriced. I spent so much time wasted and not getting much out of it. Okay. All right. Luckily, I was still working and doing my other stuff, but that was the biggest waster. Then I started putting in systems. Right. We started doing finding these people. Right. We decided, you know what? We're not going to rely on somebody else bringing us money. We need to go out there and be actively finding and talking to these people directly. Okay, and that's when the business completely changed. Okay, and that's when we started. Anybody here sent out mailers or anything like that to somebody before? Right? Did you get a call back? No, there will be. Anybody else? Call back? No. How many did you send? Are you open to discussing that?
Yes. Sent a good 5,000.
5,000 and not one callback? Okay, let's help you with that right now. Who were you talking to?
I focused on pre-foreclosures.
Where, here in New Jersey, New
Yes,
York?
here in New Jersey. Started in Essex County, and then down where I live in Middlesex County.
Essex County, Middlesex County.
Yes.
5,000 in what period of time?
The time frame, last year. I've been trying to do this for about a year.
So the whole year you made a total of about 5,000?
Well, I gave up after the 5,000
okay.
mailer.
So now that 5,000, was it, how long were those leads up? Like, where'd you get those leads from?
I bought them.
You bought the leads?
Yes.
Okay. You bought the leads from this source or something like that?
This source, PropList.
PropList. So buying list.
A few places. Also Craigslist.
Buying list. Okay. So with buying list, I've heard so many different stories about that. I can't speak to that because I never bought list. Okay, I've never bought list. I've always went directly to the public records, right? Got the list myself and did our system that way. So we got the information, we got the list, and then we mailed them. We mailed to those people. We mail and door knock. door knock to those people. Mail, door knock, and now we're starting to call. Okay, mail, door knock, and call. Okay, there's no way I can knock on $5,000 doors, right? But door knocking is very high in efficiency. With mailers, we send anywhere between 3 to 6 mailers per property. Okay. Also, the targeting for pre-foreclosures, in the beginning, it was very more for helping them, giving them a free consultation type thing, instead of and now we're doing more of a we buy houses from you kind of thing directly. Okay, but it's more of a numbers game, 3 to 6 mailers. Okay, our business right now, we are doing about 1,000 to 1,200 mailers a month, and we speak to about 10 to 12 people. 10 to 12 people per month. Okay, and that's
That's good, right?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's 1 to 2 people every week that we're speaking to, right? On the high end, on the market, when it was like spring, summer, right? It was more like double that, right? So now think about that, right? One property for us is anywhere between 30 to 50K per transaction. Okay. Some short sales are really good. The best success that I've had with short sales is calling, mailers, and door knocking for pre-foreclosures, right? And we've gotten those transactions. We just purchased one sold one in September. We started that process last year in October. We purchased it for $47,000. We sold it for $180, right? And we only put about $5,000 into that property, right? So we borrowed $70,000 from a private lender. We bought it with their money. We sold it. We made over $100,000 profit on that deal in about 45, 60 days from the time we purchased that house. Okay, those deals are not common. Okay, they happen when you're out there, right? So in order to be, I always tell people, if you want to get lucky with those transactions, you got to be out there in the field, right? You got to be in the game to get lucky. Okay, what's one transaction, right? So with this, it's not what you do, it's just it's a strategy, and your tactics behind what you do with this is going to determine your success, right? It's going to determine your success. Now, with that in mind, okay, mailing, door knocking, and cold calling are the ways to contact these people, right? How many people are okay with door knocking? Right? Cold calling, mailing, right? There you go, right? Whatever you're comfortable with, that's what you need to stick to, and you need to, number one, you need to commit to it, master it, and be able to have some sort of marketing budget for it. And consistent. Right? That's what this business is all about. Right? That's what this business is all about. So you have to learn, number one, how to put these leads together, right? And how to go about and handling getting those people to start calling you. Okay? This particular deal is an inherited property. Okay, this was a probate deal. So we went down to the courthouse, we got the probate information, we sent them a postcard, she gave us a call, right? And I believe it was between the time we got the lead to the time that we got the contract, it was less than 30 days, or like 45 days, right? That can happen very quick, all right? Now, not everyone that calls me is that motivated to sell, right? Because in this business, in my Instagram, I post all the time about all the letters and all the messages that I get of people cursing me out, right? Anybody had dealt with that before? Yeah, right? People being nasty, right? But those are these people, right? There's different kinds of people that you're going to be dealing with. we call them the rotten apples, right? The rotten apples, right? You don't want to waste your time with them, all right? You can't let those people determine your motivation and your willingness to continue to do this business, right? Because what you need to know this formula right here, right? That there are less people motivated to sell than there are people that want to sell. So as long as you continue to go on and go on, you want to talk to people that are motivated, right? And people that are on the fence. People that are just nasty, you just want to disregard those people and continue on your business, right? Because I get them a lot because we send a lot of messages. So, any questions on this? This is your chance, right? Any questions on this, right?
What kind of systems did you put in place? You said you started from public records and you put some systems in place. What exactly that?
So right now we have virtual assistants that do all this for us, right?
Does he or she just scroll the public records and put an Excel spreadsheet with it, and then somebody else is just sending the mails, or can you just explain?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
What do you look for in the public record?
So we look for pre-foreclosures and we look for probates. That's what we look for right now.
Only two things.
That's it.
Okay. Why did you choose only two? Why didn't you touch tax liens, for example?
Because so tax liens, we could do that, but we haven't figured that system out yet. So I like to do the things that I'm comfortable, that I know, or that I've dedicated my time to, and experimented with, and continue that system. Now that we have these two systems kind of on autopilot, now we're going more to like here, right, and like SEO stuff. We're going more there in 2020.
What does SEO stand for?
Search engine optimization, like being ranked on Google and things like that.
Okay.
So we're doing more of this in 2020. Now that we have these systems in place for virtual assistants that help us get those leads, right? So I mean, for these 1,000 to 1,200 leads that we get a month, maybe we spend about 5 or 6 hours a month on doing that. Okay, for somebody that's doing this right now, that's a full-time job. That's 20-25 hours a week minimum.
Is it person sends emails or regular mails?
Direct mail.
Regular mails.
Regular mail.
Okay.
Yeah, regular mail. Right, so we send postcards.
What kind of system do you have for postcards? Do you print them, or does he has to do some handwriting?
No, it's an online company that we use. Right, so we use Renata's iOS, right? Renata's iOS. We also use another one called Deal Machine. Deal Machine for driving for dollars. All right. So these are the two systems that we use. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions? You had a question.
How many virtual assistants do you have?
4.
4? Okay. How did you find them and train them?
So my business partner, who's not here, he's in Australia right now. He's handled that part of training them and finding them. Okay, but he spent a lot of time working on that. So we spent a lot of time creating those systems to be able to train them. Training is creating manual for everything that you have in your mind. Right?
So do you have just a script for them and manuals?
We have a process for every single thing that we want them to do. Videos, everything. Questions, direct questions that they can ask.
Is the virtual assistant locally?
No, they are in Philippines.
But they can do the public record online?
Online.
Okay.
Yeah, the only ones that they can do is online. Yeah.
And Jose, when they make scheduled appointments, is it you and just your team that actually go to the property, or do you vet more and only go to where you're pretty certain that you're gonna get that deal?
So the way our system works right now is I get the calls, and I handle those calls. Okay. Once I determine those properties, I determine the motivation of the homeowner. I go and see the property myself. Okay, that's what we're going to next right now. I go into the property and see it myself.
So prior to you having virtual assistants, how long were you doing this?
So this was a
yourself?
full-time job. This was a full-time job. Like it would take me anywhere between 20, 25 hours. So and before doing this, right, I would go to the public record. I would take down the lead. I'll do my research. I'll print out the letters. I put them on envelopes. I handwrite. I mean, all the stuff that you guys already know and I've been taught to do, right? I do that. I put stamps, handwrite the letters, and send them out on a monthly basis. And this happened like that, and I got my first deal because I was consistent with that, right? We did it for months, right? Actually, we did it for like a whole year like that, right? Yeah, you got listen. This business is business. Like if you want to succeed, you got to do what your business needs to succeed. If you don't have a lot of money, then you need to figure out how you're going to be able to do it.
How much time did you dedicate a week to that?
20, 25 hours.
So you said that your virtual assistants, they get all the public records. What happens when there's some courthouses or areas that you have to go in to get the records?
So I do it. I personally do that. Yeah, because I personally go to like these records right now to do that. We're really gonna be changing that in the future. But right now, I'm still doing that because I like to be in the field.
And which market you are targeting?
Essex, Hudson, Union, Bergen, Passaic.
So within a 2 hours drive, right?
No. Half an hour.
Oh, half an hour. Okay.
No way. You had a question.
She asked it.
Oh, you're good? Anything else, Rich?
You said 10 to 12 people you actually call or knock on doors?
No, that actually return. We get a call back from.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. November and December have been really slow with that. But we still got this deal. We closed this in December. We got actually a call during Christmas Day.
So how is this a deal?
How is this a deal? That's what we're going into next, determining that. So everything I just covered was how I found this person. Right? So this person was an inherited property. She inherited the house. She was in the probate system. We found her. We sent her a mailer. Right? This cost us 50 cents to send this person that mailer. Now we don't spend 50 cents, right, on our marketing. We spend about $1,000 to $1,200 a month on this. But like, if you think about it, this one person, it was just 50 cents for this person to give us a call. Now, which person are you gonna call you? That's on you, right? You got to figure that out. That's
what made you pick this property to send a mailer to?
Because it was part of my list. It's part of my system. It's part of my system, right? I dedicate on probate and I dedicate on foreclosures. So I find those people and I market to them.
So there was a couple that you sent out. It wasn't just this one.
Yes, every week we send several in different counties.
Did the seller have a set price?
She did. Her price was $140. She wanted $140 or $150 for this house.
And you paid?
We paid $125. So are we done with this side? So we're gonna sounds like we're moving on to the next part. Any last question?
So how much time did you take it to put all the systems in place? Like 6 months, a year? A year.
1 year. Last year, this 2019, my business partner, God bless him, he put all that together with the virtual assistant and all that kind of stuff. Right? So, real estate investing, right? A little plug about that, right? Systems. He's in Australia. This property is still running. By the time he comes back, this property is going to be most likely already ready to get listed on the market. Right? He don't have to be worrying about this house while he's in Australia enjoying his time.
Exactly.
Right? Business. That's systems, right? One of our second or third transaction, I went on my family vacation last year with wife and kids. January 2018, I believe. We were out there in Colombia, and we got an $80,000 check, right, during the time I was away. Right, closing. We sold one of our houses, 2 years ago. Right, sold one of our properties. Okay, I didn't have to be in the closing. I didn't have to do any other stuff that you have to run around to do that. But there was still money waiting for me when I came back. It was like, okay, vacation. Right. right? This business, right, it provides that freedom, but you have to be able to do it right. Okay, so now that we found a deal, right, with step 2, determine good deal, right? Determine if it's a good deal. So when I first came in, she was a very nice lady. We spoke. She wanted about 145. She told me she wanted 145, 150 for this transaction. She told me that this property needed $30K in repairs. Okay. Before I came to this house, I knew that this house was going to be worth anywhere between around 220 to 230. Okay. Now with these numbers, is that a good deal?
Yes.
No way. It's not a good deal.
No.
With her number?
With her numbers.
No.
That's not a good deal. Right? Remember
Yeah,
all the stuff that we talked about in the beginning?
Minus the whole
Not a good deal. Right? So, but I still know that just because they tell me that's what they want, that don't mean that that's what they're gonna set. Right? And I'm in the business of going out there to verify all these things. So I came, we met with the homeowner. Now, you guys did the exercise, right? Quickly, just tell me how much money is it going to cost to repair this house?
Depends on what you're gonna add in it.
Depends on
This is your business. This is the numbers. How much do we need? We purchased 125, right? We purchased it at 125, and our after repair value is 225.
Maybe 50.
And I'm already helping you guys with this. I'm already helping you guys with these numbers.
50,000?
50,000?
Maybe $30,000.
$30,000 to fix?
Between 30 and 50.
Okay, 30 and 50.
Just repairs or like all the other costs?
Just repairs, just to fix the house.
Oh, yeah.
Is there an oil tank in the basement?
No, I'll tell you. Anything else?
Say more like 50.
50.
Well, like I said, it depends, because you still got the electric, you got the heat, the plumbing, all of the other stuff to include too, not including the outside. So that depends.
65. Okay. So just pretend that this is your business. Pretend this is your business. What is the unknowns?
We don't know. So you
And
gotta
you
leave
can't see
some
until you start looking behind the wall, whatever that's the thing.
There's unknowns.
So maybe 30 with 20 of unknowns.
30 and 20 of unknowns. That's a lot of unknowns.
I mean, just giving yourself a cushion.
That's a lot of unknowns, right? So what's that? What's that?
Termite, mold, that's
Termite,
unknown.
mold, unknowns.
How long was it vacant?
This was maybe like vacant a couple of months.
Okay.
Unknowns. Okay. So let's talk about unknowns real quick. Okay. Let's talk about unknowns real quick because this is a big part of this, right? What are the unknowns that you need to know? You said termites, right? Termites.
Mold.
Plumbing, electrical.
Plumbing and electrical.
Roof. Any asbestos and mold.
Structure.
Yeah.
Rodents.
What is it?
Rodents.
Rodents. Can't have those. What else? Any other unknowns that you need to know about a house before you buy it?
Liens.
Can't forget that.
Liens. What else?
Violations.
Violations.
Taxes. Yes.
Taxes. Taxes. I know somebody asked about it before. Water tank. Anything else?
But those are, you would know that though, well, maybe not.
Anything
Extra
else?
like square footage, like if you want to
Extra square footage?
renovate the basement, that's not.
Like to add an extra living space?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Any open permits?
Open permits.
That's a big unknown list.
Just keep getting bigger. Anything else?
Yeah, the maintenance permits as well. I guess
Maintenance. Permits, we'll leave that on the permits. What else?
Maybe crime? I don't know.
Crime.
Yeah, that's a good one. Crime in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Sorry.
Like
else?
location, right?
Location, right?
Yeah, follow crime and everything.
Good. All right. So for me, what I like to do, I go to the process, right? That this is once we have a contract. So I go through this process once I have a contract in place. Okay. Beginners and most people want to have all this answered before they have a contract in place, and that was me. I used to do that all the time. I needed to get all these answered before I can put a contract in place and make my offer, because I was gun shy. Right? I was scared to make an offer, scared to put my money into something that wasn't going to work out. Right? It's normal. Okay, it's normal. We put offers first, and then we determine this. Okay? Ready, shoot, aim. That's what we teach, right? Ready, shoot, aim. You guys went to that workshop, right? Ready, shoot, aim. Okay? Why? Why do you think I would do something like that?
So you don't want to miss out off? Maybe it's a conditional off, like it's based on certain conditions, and then it can change if there's something wrong.
Exactly. Right, exactly. So contracts are there to protect you and protect the seller. Right? Here in New Jersey, it's a buyer beware market. Buyer beware market. So you buy, and you need to determine this on your own. The seller is not responsible for providing you with this. Okay, you should have attorney, title company, right? But the seller is not responsible for this. And even if you have attorneys and title companies, whatever you have, whose responsibility is it?
Yours.
It's yours. Whose money is it? It's your money, right? Whose business is it? It's your business. So you need to know these things, right? We need to know these things. The more you know about this, the better your business is going to be. All right. So our process is, once we have an offer accepted, we go through this. We go to the city, right? We go and determine this. We do this. We do inspection for this. We do inspection for this, right? We go to the city for this, right? And that's it. Right, we go to the city for all that stuff, because the city has everything about with the house has its public records with the city, right? So the city needs to provide us with all those information. Now, on top of these permits, we also ask for any closed permits and copies of the permits that was done, because we want to see if there was anything that was added to the building, to the structure, or any works that was done. We want to know about it. Okay. All of this stuff is room for negotiations when it comes to the bill, to buying the house. Okay, you have 14-day inspection period, and during that time, so we buy all the houses as is, and I tell the homeowners, listen, we buy all the houses as is, but we need to determine what is. Okay, if what this is comes with $20,000 in liens, then that's not really what I'm getting. I'm not really just getting the house, right? And then we need to talk about that. So I asked him straight up, do you have any liens, anything that you're aware of that you think that this probably comes with? Yes or no? And then we determined that everything here is good, right? My business partner that helps me determine all this other stuff with the construction. Okay? He goes, once we have a contract, right, it's not worth his time to come here before we have a contract. Because once we have a contract, now we use our system. So one of the systems that we use prior to making the offer is we use a tool called Renata's iOS. Okay, and there we have a repair estimator. Tool. Okay, we have a repair estimate tool. That software, what it allows me to do is, as I'm walking through the property, I plug in the details about the house, and at the end of it, is going to give me a number of what this property is going to be worth, or is going to cost to repair. Okay. Now this tool is customizable. So what that means is, we had our construction crew go into the software and give us a price for square footage for flooring, for things that we use in our business right now. So if we need to replace a window, I count how many windows need to be replaced. I put it in the tool and it gives me a number. How many sockets we need to replace, we put it in, gives me a number. If I need to do a kitchen, we don't break it down by like every little item in the kitchen. I just break it down. Kitchen, square foot, we're gonna do a low-end kitchen, medium-end, high-end kitchen, and it gives me a price range. Okay? Then I go into painting. How's the square footage of the house? I put it in, the whole house needs to be painted, it gives me a number. Right? You guys get the idea? So when I walk through the house, I already have I put in all that information, right? And it gives me a number. And I tell the homeowner, look, this is the average of what this property is going to cost me to repair. Now, then I tell the homeowner, I go from there and I go into, okay, well now I need to determine what this house is worth in the open market. Okay, I need to know what other houses in the area are selling for. Now, how do you get that information? Because nobody put that here as the unknown. Comps, right? Comps. Where do you get comps? Zillow, MLS.
Drop Street.
Yeah.
Right? Redfin, right? Zillow, Redfin. Okay. I use MLS. I'm a real estate agent here in New Jersey, and I got that license so I can get access to the MLS. Information, right? Is your business. You have to determine what it's going to be for your business, right? I'm a person that likes to have control of my business, right? So if I have to rely on somebody else to give me this information, I don't feel good about that, right? That's just the type of person I am. So with that, once you have the information about the area, you can determine what do you think it's going to be when you make an offer. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So now, any questions so far?
Yeah, can you please tell us a little bit more about this repair estimate tool? Did you build your own software, or
No,
are you
we're going
using
to talk
somebody
about
else?
we're going to talk about that later on. But our repair estimates comes with the Renatus education company, and you'll have access to that once you become a part of that. But we'll talk about that later. It's a software that you subscribe to.
How much did the estimate come up to for this house with that tool?
So this house, it came out to 49,000, something like that.
Even considering the outside too.
What's wrong with the outside?
You said it. You said
Yes, considering the outside, yes.
How accurate was that in terms of other fixes that you have done? Like, the repair estimate gives you some estimate, and has it always worked out?
So an estimate is just what it is, just an estimate, right? We also have the conversation that there's always unknowns.
Right.
So we always have a conversation with the homeowner, and there's been many things that has happened during the transaction that you need to budget for additionally, especially if you're opening up walls or if you're doing things like that. You have to have some sort of contingency anywhere between like 1,000 to 10,000, 5 to 10% of whatever your budget is. Any questions on that? Right, you always have to budget for that. Are we good?
So the offer you gave for the project was 125?
Yes. Actually, my initial offer was 115,000.
And then it went up after you did.
Like I made that offer right there on the spot when I came there. What was that?
And then you put it up after you did your due diligence.
So my offer was 115,000 when I met the homeowner. All right, we had a conversation. We went all this stuff. She's like, I'll pay 115,000. We'll close right away. All this stuff, right? She's like, I have other people coming. We'll see what happens. Okay, fair enough. Give me some more time. Go show it to whoever it is. Give me, a couple extra days, and I'll go back. I'll speak to my contractor. I'll show them the pictures, and we'll come back and see if we can do anything more. So then after that, my offer We discussed it, we went through the numbers, we felt that we can do it for 50K. We looked at the comps and everything like that, so we felt 125 was an okay transaction. Okay, it's an okay transaction. All right. Especially we're going to talk about this property. This next, we don't have any of our own money tied into this deal. Okay, so we felt pretty good about that. Any other questions about that? What's that? No, we're good. You had a question, Richard?
Yeah, I'm just the quality of like what type of material you use for the floors, the kitchen, countertops.
So this is a contractor grade. This is contractor grade.
But
right?
you compare with the comps, like how the information is over there, like on those.
Yeah. So and the comps, right? We took the highest comp I think is here was like 235 or something like that. Then, but this property right here, you're not putting like high-end stuff on it. Right? You're just putting contractor grade, and you're getting in and out. Right? You're getting.
Do you have a breakdown what this 50K consists of? I mean, do
Yes,
you
I have.
repair the roof? Do you repair the plumbing? Do you change the plumbing? Can you just tell us a little bit more what it is?
So we're not. Everything is cosmetic. We're not repairing plumbing. We're not replacing electrical inside the walls. Right? No. Do you need
any additional sockets? Nothing, right?
Sockets, yes, but electrical wiring throughout the house, we're not doing that. The only electrical we're doing is the panel. We're replacing the panel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep the kitchen?
The kitchen is going to be rearranged. Right? We're moving the kitchen to the other wall. Right? We're moving that kitchen. The back wall, that's going to get cleaned up. We're not opening up that wall.
The bathrooms are redoing the bathroom.
Oh, yes, the bathroom is going to be redone. But it's not going to be like everything redone. It's going to be painted, and the vanity is going to be replaced. But that's it.
So how many of the unknowns were you able to? Sorry, go ahead.
So everything, all of this needs to be determined.
So what was your profit?
So our profit on this, we're looking at around 35K. After all the numbers. Well, after repairs, closing costs, buying costs, all
With
those
none
things.
of your personal money put into it.
Yes, exactly. Like that, right?
Like that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Cool.
Right?
Are you fixing the roof or the roof is okay?
The roof was just done recently, 5 years ago.
Okay. Are you changing anything outside? I mean,
Power wash.
just power wash.
Power wash. The only thing that we're doing outside is repaving the driveway. Repaving the driveway, and we're putting up a fence on the backyard. We're putting up a fence on the backyard to separate the yards, and we're doing the driveway.
Are you changing
The
any
house is
windows
painted.
here?
Yes, all these windows need to get changed.
All three?
I don't know. I'm not sure about all the windows, but there's everything that you see. The house is gonna. When somebody comes in to buy the house, everything's gonna look new. Right. And that's what matters. Right? That's what matters. So this property was built in the 50s, 60s, something like that. So electrical inside, I'm not too concerned about. Plumbing, we're not rearranging plumbing. We're not doing a good job on this house. If we're doing a good job on this house, it'll be $100,000 easy.
Yeah, so it's not even.
And yeah, because see, what most people do is they think about it. I need to have. If I'm gonna live here, I need to do everything like that. This is business, right? This is business. So a house, the electrical and the plumbing doesn't need to be redone, for the most part. For the most part.
Are you changing the water heater and the boiler downstairs?
The
Or you just
boiler,
service
the
them?
water heater, there is a water heater that's being changed, and the boiler is not being changed, it's being serviced. You good on that, on the repairs?
So it's a forced air gas system, right?
Forced air gas, yes, forced air. So we don't have AC, there's only heat. Only heat, we're leaving the window fan, the window. Guys, this is a $200,000 house. It's not like we can't knock it down and build a new house. So you got to determine that when you're doing this, right? Now, if this was a $500,000 house, then you need to do all those things to make it a $500,000 house. Okay.
Right.
But even still, most of the time, we're still not replacing all the electrical in the house, unless something really is like that needs to be replaced. Cool?
Cool.
Good? So, remember that business quadrant that we talked about before? For this stuff, like you need professionals, right? Leverage. Right? Appraisals. We get an appraiser. We get an appraisal on this house done. Even though I get comps, even though we do all those things, we pay for an appraisal. Okay? We pay for sweep, oil tank sweep. Okay? The rest is pretty much free. We got a survey on this one.
Inspector?
No.
What's a survey?
A survey, you can do with that. They just map out the land, the dimensions of the property. We don't get an inspector because we have a construction company that comes in. Once we get on the contract, they go and verify everything that I went through, and then they're gonna come up with their own number, and then we are up for renegotiations if we need to, if we can find something.
So when you do appraiser, do you do it as is or after
Both.
repair? Both.
I believe, I mean, what I'm feeling is with the deal you made for the worth of the house and with the wiggle room that we made with for the repairs and the unknowns, isn't it still a risk?
Well, always a risk. Real estate is always a risk. Real estate is always a risk, right? So with this property, if you were using your own cash, right? If you were using your own cash, with 125, you would be at 175K,
Right.
right? And you'll be close to 55K in profit, right? But at that point, you're still putting in about minus your closing costs at the end. So let's just say 12,000. So you're at 33,000.
And
Right.
how long do you think it's gonna take for this house to look good and be sold?
January. It just really depends on the. It just really depends on the. Right now, the only thing that's holding us up is the city with the permits because everybody's on vacation mode.
Okay.
Everybody's on vacation mode. So they told us straight up, you're gonna wait until January. And I was like, it is what it is, right? There's some things that you can't control. You have to work around it. But the guys are still gonna be working here. You're gonna still get it done. So now when the construction crew, when they get the permits, all we have to do is call for the inspection. And they come and inspect and move on and close it up, put it up for sale. So this project, we're estimating 4 to 6 months. You gotta determine 4 to 6 months, right? But what I'm telling you guys is that these things here, right, you have to learn it, right? You have to take the exercise, do these things over and over and over again, over and over and over again for as long as you need to do it until you feel comfortable in making an offer. Okay? Then after that, you're going to need to get that offer, right, scrutinized by a third party. Don't just rely on your instincts, rely on the professionals, right? And you go back and forth and determine. This is a business that we use other professionals to help us in our business. Okay?
So the hard money lender pays for those professionals to come in and...
No, this is paid by you. Right? This is paid by you. All of this is money that you're paying. Right? Anything else? Right? So, any questions on repairs and finding comps and anything like that?
How do you choose the contractor? I mean,
So we have in our beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that was a big mess.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that was a big mess. We went to contractor to contractor. We lost a lot of money. And I mean, let me rephrase that. We didn't lose a lot of money. We lost profit because our profit was getting eaten up by the contractors.
Yeah.
Do you do any of the work yourself?
Mice no, I won't do work.
You mean you hire people to work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a permanent crew right now?
Yes.
Okay. And how many crews do you have? Just one?
One crew. Right now we have one crew. Yes.
And how many flips do you do simultaneously?
Anywhere between 2 and 3.
You said you don't put any money. You use hard money to finance.
Yes, we're going to get to that, the next part. So you just want to make sure that this is clear with the money, with the construction and everything like that. So the very important thing with the comps, guys, is you need to find properties that are very much like this one. And all our comps are exactly, half duplex properties. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, right around within 1 mile of this area. And that's how you know you take an average of those properties, and then you do your repairs based on that. Okay, so our contractors know we're not doing anything over 50 grand on this deal. So they're gonna come in here, and as professionals that they are, they're gonna do what they need to do for 50 grand. Okay, make sense?
That's a lump sum deal you have with a contractor, or how do you determine?
Well, they're a part of our team.
Okay.
So we don't have a contract with them per se, which is something that you guys could have, right, with your contractors that you hire. But in the beginning, it was very much trial and error until we started getting people that are on board and we started getting more deals. So that way we can have people that are working directly with our team. Okay? Cool. So the next part of this is the money. All right, so where do we get the money first? You guys already put it out there, right? It's hard money lenders, right? What was that? How would you get the money? What's that?
Individuals?
Private lenders. What else?
What is HMO?
A hard money lender.
Like a bank?
Hard money.
Bank. Like a Wells Fargo, or like
Yeah.
anything else?
Raw from like 401k.
Pension.
Friends?
Have some good friends.
Unless you want to lose few friends.
Friends, family. Right? That's it. Right there, right? So when I first started investing in real estate, right, I used to go to my friends. Right? Because you have friends. People, everyone's interested in this. Like making money and becoming financially independent. Everybody is interested.
They don't want to take the risk.
Just people are scared to take the risk because they work very hard for their money, and if they're gonna put 50, 1,000, whatever money it is, they work very hard to save it, and they don't want to risk it, especially if Jose, that's never done anything with real estate before, right, and doesn't have the best reputation, right, amongst their friends, are gonna ask them for money. What they're gonna say? You're crazy, right? You're crazy. Right? And that's what happens with people, right? We ask our friends and family, but they are not educated financially, right? They're not financially educated, okay? Because if you present somebody, right? If you tell somebody, hey, look, I'm gonna borrow $50,000 from you, and I'm going to give you 12% a year, right? What is that going to be on a monthly basis? That's going to be $500 a month. How many people are comfortable lending out $50,000 to get back $500 a month? Right? Give me a number, right? Exactly. So for the people that said no, you still have some thinking to do, some learning to do about money, right? Because how many people are getting 12% return a year right now on their money? Nobody, right? So what you're saying, if you're uncomfortable, if you're not comfortable with this, is that you'd rather keep your money in the bank where you're actually losing money than putting it to work for you, right? This is what I'm talking about, financially educated, and that's nothing wrong with or me trying to put down your mindset or how you look about money, because that's what we're taught about, looking for money, right? We have to keep it, and we have to save it, and we have to keep it there so we can, Scrooge McDuck, right? All over it. So we just has to be comfortable within our reach. That's what we feel about money, okay? But the reality is, once you start learning, the big reason is because you guys don't feel secure with your money somewhere else. If it's not where you can just easily go and grab it, like a bank. That's what it comes down to, security. Okay? Now, with real estate investing, if you have a system that's your property, right? This house, if we're going to be all into this house for $50,000, like this example, we own this house, everything free and clear for $15,000. It's all renovated, ready to sell, right? And this is worth 100,000. How many people feel comfortable lending $50,000 if you're going to be getting this back? Right? Assuming that you're okay, that you don't need the money right now. Okay? Does that change your mindset a little bit? Okay. Well, now what if instead of getting this, your money is, you're right here, you have a 50K profit, right? You're all into $55,000, you sell it for 100, you have 50K potential profit, right? What if now, instead of making this a month, at the end of the deal, you're making this, 25K. Would that be okay for you? In 6 months? Probably. Now I'm suing you guys up a little bit more. Right? But what if this was in your Roth, like we talked about before? Now you're 100% on board. Right? Because the money in your Roth is just sitting there anyways, not doing anything. Okay? So this is where you have to take the conversation to people that will say that they'll be in this position to do it. Okay? So when you're speaking to people that first we start off with this, right? You have no track record of success in real estate investing. You haven't found a deal like this, right? And we start off, it's difficult because I started doing it and nobody wanted to give me money. Okay? It's very difficult. I'm sure some of you guys here have already gone through that stuff, right? But then I started focusing on, number one, finding the deals that we talked about. Then we started running numbers, and now once we had the deals, now we made relationships with these people, right? That are going to, now we present the deals, and they're like, okay, well, it's a no-brainer, yes, or I'm in or I'm out, okay? And now your job is to find those people.
And so you say you negotiate and give them their money back within 6 months?
So the term, whatever the term of the transaction is, every transaction is different, right? Every transaction is different. Does that make sense? So my first deal was in Newark, New Jersey. We purchased it for $65K. We put $65K in repair, and we sold it for $200,000. Okay? Is that an okay transaction? Yes. We made, in that deal, we made about $60K profit. Okay? Because about $10,000 was in fees and stuff like that. Okay, that was my first transaction. That deal took me a little bit over 2 years to do it. From the moment I wanted to be a real estate investor to getting that first property took me about 2 years. Okay, so if you haven't found your property, your deal yet, and you're still trying to get it, don't give up. You just have to continue to do the process. Right, it's a new skill. All this is a new skill that you're learning. You got to continue to do. So, right here, that was the first deal. Okay, we used a hard money lender. Okay, we already went through the formula. They want 75% minus repairs. They want 25% equity. Some of them go up to 85%. That's up to you to find out who they are. Okay, and what those terms are, that's your homework. Find hard money lenders and find out what their criteria for lending money is. Okay, then it comes down to the property and your credit score, whatever your credit is, right? Whatever they're gonna tell you what that is. Then from there, we use the bank because they're going to ask you for a 10 to 20% down payment. Hard money lenders are going to ask you for 10 to 20% down payment. And where did that money come from for us? We got that from credit cards. We got that from credit cards. Okay, so we learned how to raise our credit, how to get higher credit card limits, and then we took the money out from the credit cards and we put that as a down payment. 10, 20% down payment on this. And we combined it with a hard money loan. So we borrowed essentially $130,000 from a hard money lender and a credit card, right, to be able to make 60 grand. Is that an okay transaction? I think so, right? Especially the credit cards were 0% interest, and we have points.
Zero investment. I mean, you're not putting anything out of your pocket right away.
Right? Nothing out of the way. So now, that was the first deal, and then we used the process over and over and over again after that. So when people say I don't have the money, it just means that you don't have the knowledge to be able to put this together. You don't have the knowledge to make money.
Which
right?
banks do you use?
Which banks?
Yeah.
Well, these were
Oh,
like
this one,
Capital One, Wells
Capital
Fargo. I mean, we have all kinds of banks. Lines of credit. We have credit unions. I mean,
So you just pay minimum payments, right?
what's that?
You just pay minimum payments.
Oh yeah, for the 6 months that
For
we
the
had
6
it.
month period, yes.
Yes, and then we just put it back.
Right.
Take it out, put it back. Take it out, put it back. Take it out, put it back.
Who exactly are hard money lenders?
Hard money lenders are professional lenders. Professional lenders that invest. That you remember the quadrant that we talked about, the I quadrant. Those are people. Those are people in the I.
Okay.
And just like you are an investor looking for hard money for properties, right? They are also looking for properties, but they don't want to do all the other stuff that we just talked about.
So where do we find
They have the
them?
money, so they just want the money to work for you.
Where do we find the hard money lenders? If we wanted to, with real estate investor meetings and stuff like that? That's how we find them?
Oh, she's down there?
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
tired.
Google.
We got no chairs here. So.
Google.
Google.
Right?
Real estate
You got meetups.
Meetups, okay.
You got Google. You got meetups.
Real estate events and stuff.
I mean, literally, if you Google, there are gonna be a million of them that come up.
Okay.
Right? I'm sure you've met somebody in some event that's a hard money lender. They're like, now that you have this in mind, they literally advertise everywhere. And all these events, they sponsor them. They're out there. They want to make money. But they want to make money with people that are professionals to be able to put all these 2 steps before us that we mentioned. Right? They're also going to want you to have some skin in the game, right? Like a 10 or 20% down payment. Right? But don't go ahead and tell them like, oh yeah, I got 20, I'm gonna get it on my credit card and I'm gonna do that.
Don't tell them.
That's not their business. That's your business. Right? That's your business. Okay? Yeah, all they wanna know is that you have the money in the bank and that you're gonna be able to perform. Because this is all about performance. Okay, once you sell it, you pay them back, guess what happens the next time? It gets easier to borrow money from them, and easier and easier and easier. So in the beginning, you're gonna start off with 20% and maybe like 12, 13% interest and points and all that kind of stuff, right? We're down to 9% interest and 2 points, right? So our total money is about 11% that we pay for the plus we have to pay for those fees that we mentioned before, right? And here. For those down payments, what we use is we use either private lenders, and we still use this, lines of credit. And we use 0% money out of our pocket. This deal right here, we have a hard money lender, and we have a second lender, which is an investor, a private investor that we know, a friend, right? That now they work with us. Actually, he became a friend through different things, and now he puts money into our deals. We call those gap funders.
So this friend is getting a second lien on the property?
Yes.
What's points you're talking about?
So they charge points as a percentage. So they charge usually to borrow the money. They charge 2-3% up front over the loan. So they get paid up front for that. So, but they don't want. So they charge like 2 or 3% up front to the hard money lenders to borrow the money. Okay, because what they don't want you to do is buy the house today, and then next week sell it, make all the money, and they still don't. And they only get like their interest rate.
Yeah.
Right. So they want at least if you're gonna sell it like in the next 30 days, at least they collected 2 to 3% from you.
On top of whatever conditions.
On top of the regular interest rate. So the regular interest rate, they just make on a monthly basis for as long as you borrow the money, and that's for 12 months, 12 to 13 months on most lenders, and then if you don't finish the deal in 12 to 13 months, you either renegotiate or you're in trouble, because that right there, means you might not be making any profit at that point, and you'd be making it into foreclosure.
Are hard money lenders looking at your personal credit, or as long as you have that 2 to 3%?
They're gonna do a background check on your personal credit. Yes, they're gonna do an inquiry on your credit, and they're going to check what they want to see your current on payments.
Right, and then also, are they involved in? Is the actual property and the information about the property a factor as far? Are they looking at your deal before they'll also consider lending you the money?
Absolutely. So they are professional lenders. So what that means is they're just like you're doing your due diligence on the house, they're going to do their due diligence on the house, but except you have to pay for it. Right? So before you get involved in all that stuff, you better make sure you get a good deal. Right? You have to make sure, because anybody been to those seminars or heard like you can do real estate investing with no money?
Yes.
Like, where in this whole process do you not see doing this with no money?
Well, not your own money.
Exactly. But you still need
money.
to market your business. You need to be having money for an appraisal. You need to have money for an inspection. You need to have money to create your entity. Right? You need money for gas. You need money for lunch. Right? You need all those things in place before you get into this business. Now, wholesaling, yes, there are people that can put all this in place, and they have a lot of time, right, to go and do this. Now, you can go to the public record and get the leads for free. You don't have to pay for that. You just have to get there, right? Then you can go and start knocking on those people's door, right? That's free. You don't have to pay for that. You just have to get there, right? And then you have to consistently do that until you get that deal, and then sell it to somebody else. How long is that going to take you to do that? You got to have money set aside to be able to spend those months doing that work. So this business, right, is not going to be for everybody in the beginning, right? It's not going to be for everybody in the beginning, but everybody can do it as a part of a group, right? If you're part of something, if you're part of educated investors, just like people in our community that are going to come up in a little bit, you'll have an opportunity to do this. Now, picture this, right? How many people have? I don't know how much you have, but how much many people here have some money aside set for some sort of investment, right? Now, it doesn't have to be $200,000-$300,000, right? But how many people would you feel more comfortable putting your money together with people that are experienced like yourself, or more experienced than yourself, or like somebody that you don't even know, right? It makes sense, right? This is what we're talking about. That's what these events are for. Okay, so that if you guys came here to this event, did you get value number one from this?
Yes.
You get some good information. This is what we do. This is our business. This is what I do on a weekly basis. This is what I dedicate my life to right now, in terms of business, aside from other stuff that we do in business. Okay? The way I got started investing in real estate, and our community people, we purchased an education training to put this in my brain, right? Because I wasn't born with this. And just like we talked about in the beginning, it's your responsibility to search this information. Now, if you decided that you think this is a business for you that you continue to want to pursue and follow up on, right? We have an offer for you, right? You can learn more about real estate investing, okay, and the education system that we have available for you to learn. Okay, number one is top notch. You're not gonna get everything that I learned here was from there. Okay, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm even implemented that I haven't talked about here that are just gonna blow your brain. It's gonna take this to another level. Okay, this is just a little tiny stuff things that we talked about, right? If you're gonna come to our velocity banking, it's a strategy that we teach on our introduction presentation to learn more about the real estate investing education system. Okay, velocity banking is a strategy that we teach people how to pay off their loans and all their debt in 3 to 5 years. Okay, without getting a second job, without getting pay more money into their loans or anything like that. Okay, because most people, when they feel like this is the stuff that they feel like the money part, they feel like they don't have the money and they don't have the credit, so they can't do real estate investing. Okay, so right here, right, think about that. Remember in the beginning when I talked about if you go from 30% taxes to 10% taxes, would that help you fund your business? Would that give you extra money to start putting into your business?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? But it all starts with learning how to do those taxes and structure yourself the right way. Now what if after that, not only do you have the extra money, but you can pay off your debt in 3 to 5 years. If you with debt free and making more money on an annual basis, taking home more money, would that help you save faster for your down payment or your business? Right? Those are all strategies that are available to you to come and learn more about. Okay? So our next presentation to learn more about real estate investing education is going to be on Thursday, January 2nd in our office, okay, in Manhattan. So we have teams of people all across the country. We have over 32 locations, okay, all across the country, that where you can learn and be a part of our professional group of investors. Okay, just like you guys came here today to learn about this, right? We're working around here and buying more properties. Okay, we're also looking for more deals, right? So if you're in a position to find a deal, you need to wholesale it. Guess who can potentially buy it from you? Ours, right? If you have a fix and flip property, right, and you need your contractor, you need a contractor, you need a team of people to help you evaluate the service, evaluate this, help you fix the property, right? We're around here and help you with that. So that way you don't have to go through the whole point of figuring out which contractor to do, which this and that, right? So we have all the systems in place that as a part of our team, you potentially have an opportunity to tap into that. Accelerate the growth and accelerate the expansion that we have going on, okay? Our business model, my business model, is the more educated people that we have that are part of our team, the more deals that we can do as a group and the more money we can make, right? That's what this is all about, okay? So if you guys got value, right, from this presentation, you want to learn more about that, right? All you have to do is get back with the person that invited you, learn more about this here, right? And for those people that are watching in the camera, all you got to do is schedule an appointment below, and we'll be able to get in contact with you to provide you with more information. Okay. Now, you guys have any questions about anything that I just covered here today?
So what is that group of investors you're talking about? Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
So yeah, anybody part of KP is part of our team, right? Richard's part of our team, James, Calvin, right? See, these people are part of our team. They're already getting educated. They're part of our community. So what that means is that we purchased our real estate investing education program, which is called Renata's, right? Renata's Education. With that system, we learned all those things that I'm talking about right now, right? We learned about all these strategies and how to make these things put together. Now, as a part of the group, you get access to events like this to support you as you're going through your training and learning about this business. So that way you're not out there trying to figure this out on your own. Okay. Once you have properties that you have a question or have any kind of concern, you have any unknowns, any of those things, can you call? Right? Anybody in our team, somebody that's more experienced, somebody that was an invaluable resource for me. Okay. I started speaking to people that were number one, people that are in our community are multimillionaires that are doing real estate investing full time, fix and flippers, and they have some incredible success stories. Okay, that you can tap into that. That's number one. Number two is I met my business partner, who's not here today. I mentioned you guys. I met him through this community. Okay, so he purchased the training, I purchased the training, and we met in one of the events. And from there, at that time we were like the only people here in New Jersey. So we decided, you know what, let's figure something out and let's put this together. And we built all this stuff that you see here today just from an idea, right? Just from an idea and just from being, committed to making it work, right? From there, now we have built systems and process, and now we're just looking for more people that want to be a part of this, so that way they can establish and put this to work for themselves. Okay, and like I mentioned, there's so many ways and so many opportunities to make money in this business. There's enough for everybody. Okay, so does that answer your question?